11. Very, very glad to be here with you. Getting this video done on a Wednesday. Gonna have it up tonight. 100% sure of that. So that's pretty great. You'll notice that I'm keeping the orientation that I had started last week, and I think it was great. We're gonna build upon this. Things are gonna get better. You're gonna love it. I know that because you're gonna like, and you're gonna subscribe, and you're gonna comment in the comment section below. Just kidding. I don't care if you do any of that. This is just for you and your consumption. Unless you're showing it to friends of yours at work, which somebody approached me the other day, and they looked at me and said, at work, somebody approached me, and they looked at me and said, lumberjacked, huh? Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, apparently the movement is spreading far and wide. People are getting the word of the Sunday morning beer drinkers, and they want a piece. They want in, and I get it. Listen, it's a very popular thing you all are a part of here. It's incredible. Nobody has ever done anything quite like this in the history of fantasy football, ever. So I hope that you love it. I know that I love it, and yeah, there you go. I guess I'm not gonna continue to carry on. Let's get right into the week's scores. Wob 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 wob. See, my screens. I have to remind myself that it's my right shoulder is what I have to remind myself, because it's inverted on the screen that I can see. And so anyway, let's talk about how it went. For me, pretty good. These videos are easier to do the weeks that I win. They're even easier to do, like I'm more motivated to get into them the weeks that I score the most points in the league. And since that was this week, you'll notice that I'm just very excited to be here and very excited to be doing this. It would have been done on Tuesday had I not had to work yesterday, but alas, the money calls. Getting into the specifics of my 139 point to 99 point victory over Kessler, I'll point out that my wide receivers had a really big day. Well, Julio would have had a bigger day if it wouldn't have been for the injury, right? That's what happened. And my tight end actually played like a tight end that deserved to be drafted in the 4th round or 3rd round or 5th round, wherever I got him. The high tight end that I picked. He finally caught a touchdown. So, hey, maybe good things are coming. CEH, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, on the bench for Kessler. Had a pretty good day if you guys were watching that game. And old Kessie Kessler had him on the bench. So, that's kind of a bummer. Moving right along. The Battle of the Lovebirds. Can we call it the Love Boat Battle? Can we? I feel like we can. Between Kessler's who I played. Bentler and Colts happened this week, and it was a doozy. 106 to 107. It was a 1-point difference. Closest game of the week. Bentler really needed this game. Needed this game more than Colts because, as Colts has told you, he's been losing a lot. And it's not his fault. Clearly, but it has been happening, and it's a source of frustration for him. And again, frustrated again this week. Bentler needed the game, takes him up to 6-5. And just looking at if you looked at the lineups of the two teams, like it was each person in each line was just right down the line. They scored right along with each other. The biggest difference being the Bengals defense. So high five, Bentler, for starting yourself a defense that scored more points than 5, which is what Colts was not able to do. Talking about games that people need, like this one was a pretty big deal. Salt of the Earth versus the Puyallup Pen 15s. Phil Saltness proved to be the better of the two this week, coming out on top 123 to 95. Kevin had a couple starts that really hurt him pretty bad. Matty Ice, Matt Ryan was one of those guys. I think he only took home something like 5 points from his quarterback spot. So Pretty painful, pretty big letdown for Kevin, I'm sure. But as you will see in a second, he is not out of it. Melvin Gordon had a huge day for Phil and was a great start. And Phil is proving to be very strong still, indeed. Moving right along, the West Coast Bulldogs, Garrett Premel took on Garner. Rock out with your hawk out. So we are talking about the bottom of the division in my division. And Garner currently leading the top of his division. And Garner won that one 120-95. His running back's real big strength for him, scoring double digits in both of them. And Garner, fun little fact, had the huevos to start 2 Tampa Bay wide receivers, just really feeling himself some Tom Brady in that way. And he started Godwin and Evans, and you know what? It paid off. And Garner's out here with the third highest score of the week. Both teams, I think the real story is that both teams had a huge defensive day. 23 points for the Saints, 24 points for the Steelers, or vice versa. I'm not sure, but big defensive days from those guys, and a really close matchup. And then Cole Dozer's still fighting to stay alive, stay relevant, going up against First Class Fantasy John Soling, and this week started off with a real doozy, didn't it? The penance, the groveling coming from John, as he sent out that text as an apology to everybody for leaving Chris Carson on his starting lineup and not really paying attention to his status leading up to the Thursday night game. Lost by 17 points, so you could say that was the difference. He also posted a 0 from Hayden Hurst as tight end. So there was that. Maybe he was destined to lose. Who knows? The nice thing is it's not the end for him, and him and Cole have some more business to settle. So this could be a really good thing for Cole, because it will give Cole the tiebreaker between those two. Cole got a strong day from Ezekiel Elliott, Devontae Adams, and Deshaun Watson. So the top end of Cole's draft is performing like he hopes it will, and if it continues to do that, I believe that he may be not only a playoff contender, but a dark horse for the championship. Oh, no. There. Haha. Well, so that's the scores for the week. Let's highlight what Sleeper has decided is the stuff that we should know about. Best manager of the week goes to your boy, Game Garner. John. Ugly John. Setting a perfect lineup again. Is he keeping track? Does anybody know? I'm sure he knows. I'm sure he will tell us at some point. I await it. Worst manager, deservingly so. He'll even tell you, Johnny Soling. Biggest blowout came from me. Sorry about your face there, Josh. Not really. And, of course, Bentler pulling one out over Colts. I was your highest scorer. First Class Fantasy was your lowest scorer. I am your overachiever. And, Kevin Lane. Kevin Lane, below expectations. They really expected that team to do a lot better, and it did not. So, that is that. Let's look at the playoff picture. What do we have coming up? You'll see here at the very, very, very tippity top, right here, you'll see that number 1 has a star by it, followed by my team name. That means I have clinched the playoff spot. I have clinched the playoffs, and based on our rules, I have also clinched a first-round bye. So it feels pretty good. Thank you. Paper Champion is trying to perform up to standards. My division, I think you will say, is not going to win the strongest division award. But you play the hand you're dealt is the old adage. So Kessler and Soling right now holding down the last 2 playoff spots, with Cole Dozer and Bulldogs technically not eliminated. So in the next couple weeks, the matchups will determine. We have 2 more games before our playoffs. Playoffs start week 14, and so it will be kind of interesting to see how this plays out here, because the last spot is technically in. And Kessler doesn't have the playoffs locked in yet, but I believe a win this week will lock him in. Bentler's division is much more interesting, or should we say competitive, or should we say good? It's all of those things. Garner is on top right now, holding on to a first-round bye. But Phil Sawton is right behind him. And I have not done the research, and I won't until we get to next week's game, about who holds tiebreakers between these guys if it should it come down to that. But everybody all the way down to Bentler is still in play for the playoffs this week, and up through this week. And unfortunately for Colts, they don't have a symbol for clinching a consolation bracket, but he's there. Oh gosh, right here in the eyeball right now. I was doing so good. Okay. If you're paying attention, and if you're looking ahead to the playoff spot, you may notice that currently the way it's set up is it has Michael Bentler in the playoffs and John Soling in the consolation bracket. And based on our league constitution, we are sending the top 3 people to the playoffs from each division, regardless of record. I sent a email to Sleeper because I didn't see a way to customize that on the app, and they sent me back this response right here. And this is the part that I'm putting up. The part that I'm putting up on the screen for you is specifically what applies to our division. So in leagues with divisions, the winners of each division automatically make the playoffs. And then we knew that. Any remaining playoff spots are filled by teams that did not win the division and is sorted by overall record, points for, points against. So that is different than the way that we have it written in our constitution. Now, to be fair, on ESPN, I have gone in every year and also had to customize and adjust the playoffs. So this is not a change from past practice, what it has been at ESPN. And it says that this can be customized by modifying the standings manually via custom seeding the week leading up to the playoffs if you play different rules. So I will be going in and doing that. So if you're looking at the playoff bracket right now, don't. It doesn't have any bearing on what's actually going on. It's not a thing. So don't worry about it. I got it. I'm in control. Just wait and trust that the top 3 from each division will be moving on to the playoffs, as we have talked about before. So let's look at let's look at next week. Because standings, we did that. Next week is what's up. And what we got to highlight here is a couple really big games. Once again, Kevin Lane is going to be getting the spotlight as he is going up against the Michael Bentler as they continue to flirt it out. They continue to brawl for the final playoff spot in Bentler's division. And it's got his name on it, but that's not going to give him any credit. He gets no bonus points for having the division named after him. Michael Bentler is going to have to earn this on his own efforts. And Kevin is going to have to lose it if he wants to. Or not wants to, but I mean, damn, man. Come on. Hang in there. Colts, I am playing Garrett next week in a bit of a trap game. Because anybody can win any given week, right? It's fantasy football. So definitely not counting Garrett out here. And as you can see, the win probability bar is in favor of Garrett. So there's that. Colts is going up against Garner. And even though Colts is out of it, really could piss in Garner's Cheerios, I believe is the saying. He has a chance. If he hands John a loss this week, and Phil and Kevin win, it's going to be a pretty interesting ride to the playoffs. So go ahead, Colts. Go right ahead. I'm pulling for you, buddy. Need to win week, a must win week for Soling here, as he's looking to get back going up against Phil, and Phil obviously trying to get himself that first round bye. So big game for both of those two. And the Coldozers is hoping to keep their playoff hopes alive with a win over Kessler and not possibly knock them down a peg in my division. So that is that. Playoffs start on week 14, and that means since this coming up is week 12, week 13 is going to be a very exciting week, and I will have much to do and much to talk about, and I will have so much content and exciting scripts and blurbs and things for you that you're just going to love it. You're going to love every minute of it. So for that, that's it. I'm going to leave you to it. I'm just going to let you go. I've talked. I've done my thing. Whew, 15 minutes. This is a doozy. Anyway, remember that I love you, and I hope you have a great week. Good luck in your games, unless you're Garrett, in which case, I hope